signing Kyle Kuzma. Fresh off his 30-point game in Sacramento, Kuz and the Lakers continue their road trip at Staples Center. They're the road team against their hallway rivals who picked up former Laker Rajon Rondo. He's expected to make his Clippers debut today. Lots of storylines for this one, including Rob, twins. Which is Markieff? Which is Marcus?
Who is who?
See how well you pay attention to details.
Okie dokie.
It's an Easter matinee at Staples Center. Lakers and Clippers will tip off at 12:30 right here on Spectrum Sportsnet as the Purple and Gold look to make a move in the Western Conference standings. And with that, we say hello and welcome to Access Sportsnet Lakers, brought to you by your Southern California Toyota dealers. I'm Allie Clifton, alongside the Hall of Famer, one and only, Big Game James Worthy, 7-time champ, Big Shot Robert Horry. First of all, happy Easter to the both of you.
Happy Easter.
Mike Trudell, Mike Bresnahan will be joining us in just a few moments. Before we get to today's game, though, guys, what a game last night. I saw your tweet. Bruins, Zags. Tough for the Bruins, sorry.
Yeah.
Producer Dave.
And I don't say,
What a show.
I don't say Lord have mercy too often. That was one of my mother's things, but that's what it felt like. That was one of the best college games. Brez, you probably remember, was it Valparaiso? Back in the 80s or 90s, and it was a big shot for the underdog. But
Bryce Drew hit that big shot?
Yeah, but it was one of those games where it was perfectly played by both teams. I mean, talking about stepping up to the plate, and then to have it come down to one of those is just because I was thinking double overtime, and I'm sure everybody on the UCLA team was too. And to go down like that, it hurts because you know you played the game to win it, and they did. One team had to lose, though, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Two great teams.
Yeah.
And I was rooting for UCLA just because they beat Alabama. And I've become a fan of them and I watch them. And my son, Christian, wants to go to UCLA. So I'm kind of rooting for those guys. And I was like, beat Gonzaga. I'm that guy that roots for the underdog. I don't want Gonzaga to go perfect. So whoever they play next, I want them to
Baylor's going to be tough.
Baylor's tough. They got that three-headed monster, them guards, though. So
Jalen Suggs is going to be tough for a long time.
Not as good as those guys from Baylor, though.
We'll see. Maybe we'll put a little friendly wager on it.
This is the first time, I have said this in a long time, veteranism going to come into play for Baylor. Those veteran guards they have are going to take over.
All right, let's talk a little Lake show, if we will. Both the Lakers and Clippers come into today's matchup shorthanded. As we know, both LeBron James and Anthony Davis remain out for extended time. As for big man Andre Drummond, he is out once again with the big toe contusion. And Wes Matthews, guys, is out after suffering a neck injury Friday versus the Kings. The Clippers will be without Patrick Beverley. He's dealing with a right knee soreness. And Serge Ibaka is also out with low back tightness. Speaking of those dealing with injuries, LeBron checked in on Twitter this morning posting this. Woke up out of my sleep to use the restroom and thought to myself, man, I want to hoop. Miss it so much. Okay, anyways, back to sleep I go. Hashtag Basketball Jones. So not quite the Lakers-Clippers matchup, guys, we were hoping for, as the Lakers are without their two stars, but it's still the Battle of LA, as we know, an important game for both teams that you'd imagine down the line, games like this will probably show face and matter.
Yeah, regardless who's in or who's out, still two teams that are thriving out here in the Western Conference and just happen to be right here in the city of Los Angeles. It has built up to be a rivalry over time, and I don't think that's going to change today. So, Beverly's out. That's one of their instigators and guys that, plays a tough game. But still, the Lakers, regardless of who they're playing, Rob, it's important for them to sustain the kind of play that will keep them, 4th, 5th, 6th place.
It's all about getting an identity without LeBron and AD and now Drummond. You get this identity that you're going to play hard regardless of who's on the court, and that kind of carries over when those guys go back because, hey, you play hard on defense. This is what you do. You get in this building, we're going to try to win, even though you cross town, cross locker room rivals, but it's all about respect and going out and playing hard on this Sunday morning.
And Rob, you got to give credit where credit is due. You have the Clippers in 3rd, the Lakers just a half a game back in 4th. You've been without LeBron James now for 2 weeks. without Anthony Davis for 21 games.
Wow.
And the Crew has been holding it down, taking care of business, winning the games that they're supposed to be winning, still right there.
Earning that respect around the league, because when you think of Lakers, you think AD and LeBron. Now you think of Trez, you think of Twin, you think of Dennis the Menace. You think of these guys now because they come out and play hard each and every night. You got Kyle Kuzma showing that, hey, when I'm counted on, I can step up and give you buckets. And so that's what you have. You have that platform and that stage for when the big guys come back, they can say, okay, we don't have to do as much work. We can load manage during the game and give you guys a rock and handle your business, because we just saw what you could do in an absence.
Big game, they're playing Lakers basketball. And here's the thing, when you add those two big guns back in it, should be pretty seamless.
Absolutely. They really have been trending in the right direction, and this is what makes them dangerous right now. They've learned how to play without the two big guns.
No doubt. Lakers and Clippers will tip off at 12:30. And for more, let's get you live to Staples Center. Lakers reporter Mike Trudell is standing by with the latest. Hello, Mike. Happy Easter. Ooh.
Hey, guys.
The Easter
and
fit.
to you as well. Yeah, look, there's only so many days I can wear stuff like this, yeah? You know what I'm saying?
Love it.
And this is one of them. So I am obsessed with NBA basketball. Last night, I'm watching a bunch of games, including the Wolves and the Sixers, but I kept getting so many alerts about what was happening at the college level. I flipped over, and thank goodness that I did to catch that end, particularly with the buzzer beater from Jalen Suggs. And guess who else was watching? Frank Vogel, and he brought this up unprompted before he started answering questions from us a couple moments ago.
Before we begin, I do want to just mention quickly the great achievements of two local college basketball coaches, Mick Cronin and Andy Enfield, who had spectacular seasons this year in college basketball. Andy with the Elite Eight in USC, and Mick and making it to the Final Four and having that great game last night. Brought a lot of joy to the LA area college fans and college basketball fans, and I just want to recognize their achievements. And Mike, we can go into questions.
Sure. Frank, hey, let's stick on that for a second. What did you think of the game? What did you enjoy the most?
Just the finish, just the spirit that team played with, going after an undefeated team, believing in the underdog role and giving themselves a chance down the stretch, and they needed a remarkable shot to get beat. But it reminded me of the Villanova ending in a championship game a few years back, and obviously the Leitner shot. Just some of those special moments, even if they're heartbreaking. It's what's great about college basketball.
All right, transitioning over to today, if we could. Frank, do you have an update on Drummond and Wesley Matthews and their status?
Yeah, both are out tonight or today. Dre's still not ready, and they're just being cautious with Wes. He has neck injuries 2 games in a row, and the doc is holding him out.
And Frank, who said that the game in Sacramento was the best that you guys have collectively played without LeBron and AD? I wonder what stood out in the tape when you broke it down.
Defensive tenacity, number one. I think we had a willingness to play the right way, as good as we've seen during this stretch offensively, in terms of making the extra pass, and our shooters just being confident. We continue to work with them on the shot recognition. If you recognize the shots we want in the rhythm of our offense, you shoot them with more confidence, and I think we saw that in the Kings game.
And then last thing for me, Frank, just the potential of Markieff starting against his identical twin that hasn't lined up like that with the teams they've been on, one starting, one off the bench in recent years. I wonder what you've kind of taken from that relationship from talking to Markieff and how special that is between them.
Yeah, it's just, they have a unique symmetry with one another. Obviously not just being brothers and identical twins, but they really, share a lot of things in their life, and it's just a special relationship. So, this will be a fun game for the Morris family.
All right, there you go. And I think we're going to be speaking to Keith coming up in the show, Ellie. So that should be good. Zooming in on him and his twin brother.
Yeah, that we are, Mike. You're also very familiar with twins. Where'd you hide their eggs today?
Just a little bit. Oh, all over the house. All over the house. They found them all basically before we woke up, though. I was like, guys, can you just wait next time? But hey,
patience,
that's all right. That's
patience, children.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Right?
Well done, as always, Mike. Keep it here for the Lakers and Clippers. Dennis Schroeder has been feasting of late, averaging 19 and 8 over his last 5 games. He'll have a little extra ready for Rajon Rondo today. And coming up, playoff Rondo. Speaking of, what's special for the Lakers last season, but now he's a Clipper. Our Laker Insider will take a closer look at Rondo's return to LA next on Access. Welcome back to Access. Fans, here's your chance to show your purple and gold pride if you want to be our featured fan of the game. Check out our Spectrum Sportsnet Twitter feed. Reply to our Modelo Fighting Spirit fan of the game post with a photo or video of you representing the purple and gold. We'll check in on the fan of the game before tip-off. Buckets! We want to welcome in our Lakers insider, Mike Bresnahan. Time for Brez's three-point play. We're going to add an additional one. Three things that you were looking forward to in the game. And a special shout-out to your mom on this Easter Sunday.
Yeah, gave me a little tie here, a little happy Easter tie. I'm going to miss the Easter egg hunt, which actually might be a good thing because sometimes I push my 5-year-old niece out of the way to get to the golden egg. So
we don't celebrate that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I would never do that, obviously. I'm going to miss the fun, though, but here we are having our own type of fun. And happy Easter, everyone out there who celebrates it.
Yeah, and shout out to your mom. You're going to see her today.
Yeah,
I love it.
For sure.
All right, three-point play. You want to begin with a familiar face for Laker fans.
Yeah.
Yet he's going to be wearing a Clippers jersey today.
You ready for a weird sight in about an hour? Rajon Rondo will check into the game expectedly, wearing the Clipper jersey for the first time. Acquired a couple weeks ago by the Clippers. They kind of sent out Lou Williams, underperforming this year. Lou not having a good year. Rondo, if you'll remember, pretty good player for the Lakers just 6-7 months ago in the bubble. Did not play that first round, but then he really came alive down the stretch. Had 19 points in the final game of the NBA Finals. Helped the Lakers put away Miami for good. He signed with the Clips for the rest of the season. They know what they're getting. A very playoff-savvy guy. He did not do a lot for Atlanta this season after signing a 2-year, $15 million deal with them. About 4 points, 4 assists a game. Battled through some injuries. We'll see how he looks today. Just be weird seeing him in a Clipper jersey for sure.
Will be interesting. Yeah, no doubt. When it comes to the Lakers, they have won 3 of